Carrera Cup Asia hits the Korea International Circuit for rounds 3 and 4 for its first ever race in the nation's most famous racetrack. And the neck-and-neck standings guarantee that the fight for the podium this weekend will more than do it justice. The circuit begins with a double left-hander and then opens up onto a straight over 1 kilometre in length and ends with the slowest corner on the track. There then follows a series of tight switchbacks at turns 4, 5 and 6, and then the layout flows until braking hard for turn 10. The remainder is modelled on a street circuit and is a labyrinth of left and right-hand bends. The final turn is a left-hand kink that feeds onto the main straight. Clear skies for qualifying, and it was the New Zealander Chris van der Drift who would grab pole position in what is only his second ever drive in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. He set both the fastest and second fastest times in the single 30-minute session. His pole position lap was just over 1/10 of a second quicker.
The more laps I do, the better I feel in the car too, so I mean, yeah, it's just getting better and better, and we'll see what the race brings later on.
Roelof Browns repaid his call-up from Team Porsche Korea to join the series for the first time since 2013 by qualifying on the front row with an impressive performance on his home track.
Struggled a little bit with the tires because the first time on new tires for me, also first time in this car, it was not too easy. Didn't know exactly when the peak of the grip of the new tires would come, but turned out quite okay. Made a few mistakes, so got a lot to improve.
Third fastest out on track was overall points leader Craig Baird of Clearwater Racing. The Kiwi quite pleased with his position following an interesting session.
I kind of thought I'd have a bit of an advantage coming here, having run the GT car during the weekend, but it's actually probably worked against me a little bit because you come from the GT car with all the ABS and driver aids on there, and you jump back into the Carrera Cup car and it's obviously very manual, so I made a few mistakes. So I was probably lucky to get away with third, to be honest.
In Class B, it was a storming return to the series for 2013 category champion Egidio Perfetti in the Spark Motorsports Porsche. He set the 8th quickest lap, seizing the class pole for both races.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm very pleased with it. I think it's the first time here in Korea, so I was particularly pleased to do it on the 3rd lap time. So job done, ticked. But okay, it's not over, and the other guys are still quite a bit faster.
Round 3 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia lined up on the grid and ready to go. Chris van der Drift, only his 3rd ever Porsche start, takes pole. Craig Baird, championship leader, he won round 1 and was 4th in round 2. That's Egidio Perfetti, new colours on the car, Class B pole, that's his first outing of the year, and we are on board with Roelof Browns. As the revs rise for the start, under starter's order, the marshal runs from the back of the grid, the red lights are on. And it's an even start at the front. Great job by Chris van der Drift. He moves across to block straight away, and we're on board with Nico Menzel. Door firmly shut from both sides by Avila and Hope and Tongue. All contact down turn one, a spin as well. So contact and a spin. On board now with Craig Baird looking back. You can see him pulling the paddles. Checking if anybody's going to dare to make a move at the end of the straight. Roelof Browns is having a look up the inside. Oh, and Avila as well. Avila taking a long lunge up the inside, and Hoping Tongue is off at the side of the track. Didn't see whether there was any contact or not, but Avila is through, so Avila takes 4th place. On board now with Vuttekorn. And the field's starting to stretch out already. First time they've raced here on this Herman Tilke-built circuit. It's hosted F1 in the past. Long straights with big braking zones. Oh, and a little tap on the rear end of Max Twig. Great opportunity to overtake. But out front, van der Drift from Baird as the rest of the field stream through. On board with Perfetti in that distinctive green car. Oh, and he's got a good run. He's got a great run, Perfetti has, but nowhere to have a look. behind Zhang Dong, who's in this weekend for Martin Ragginger. Ragginger is at the Nürburgring 24 hours, so won't take part here, and that's going to hurt his championship chances, particularly if these guys carry on as they are. Out front, 2 New Zealanders. As we go on board now with Baird in second place. The most successful Porsche Cup driver ever. But Van der Drift has taken him by surprise here. The pace of Van der Drift out front, very, very impressive indeed. Pole for both races. He'll be on pole as well for tomorrow. Can he convert either of them into a win? Of course, he had a dreadful start in round 2, broke his clutch. So good to see him get away cleanly here. And can he make a break for it? Over the start-finish line for the rest of the field. We are now on board with Yui Tan, looking back at Francis Cha. Francis Cha doesn't seem close enough to be able to make a move now. He's having a look up the inside. Is he going to dare to dive from all that way back? I don't think so. Just showing his nose. Here's some replays of the start. Then on board with Menzel. Doors shut from both sides there by Avila and Ho Pin Tung. Oh, and Menzel gets in the back of Avila. So not sure there quite what happened for Menzel, whether he wasn't paying attention. Let's have a look from Andy Hamden. Look for Menzel in the white and red car in the middle of the shot now, moves across to the right. I think Avila tries to slot into the traffic. Poor old Avila then gets collected from the inside as well. On board with Yui Tan now, looking back at Francis Cha. Great start by Francis Cha. It's all the way alongside him over on the right-hand side. You can see Vutakorn having a look at... Oh, my goodness me! That's the spinner, so that's Li Chao spinning off. Absolutely massive spin for him. Comes from nowhere like a missile. Spins off and somehow avoids everywhere. Have a look at this. And avoiding him, Wayne Shen over on the in the red and white car somehow manages to avoid him when he's right alongside him. Hectic start, and the front 3 now are really starting to break away. Van der Drift, Baird and Bruns. All on board now with Menzel, and in front that's Hamden, who's run wide. Menzel could have a chance here of getting past. Hamden, despite that moment, seems to be able to get the power down nicely. Menzel has a little look up the inside. You can hear the clatter of the transmission as he changes down the gears, and he's not near enough this time. Through that tight chicane. Smoothly over the curbs, not taking too much, and then around to the left. Hamden, last year's Class B champion, defending fiercely from Menzel. Oh dear, and that's Ho Pin Tung. So the contact for Ho Pin Tung means that he has retired. And they push the stricken Porsche away to safety. Back on board with Alif Hamden. This is a replay all from earlier on, and there is the contact. That's the contact that saw Ho Pin Tung retire. Avila there just seemed to turn into him. Watching Avila in the blue car, comes in very, very fast. Don't see it quite from that angle, but Ho Pin Tung on board with Ho Pin. Wait for the impact. Bang. He carries on for a bit, but I suspect that's broken steering. And one more look on board from Avila, just in a bit too hot. And basically, without hoping there, he wouldn't have made it round the corner. So we'll see if the stewards have words about that. And that is Zhu Zhenhan also out. Steam from the front of the car. On board with Perfetti. A little bit hot in there. Oh, and he's paid the price. Lifted the throttle. Just got the car a little bit untidy. Sky Angel slips up the inside. So just slightly too hot into the one corner. You can see there the effect. Too hot into one, and it affects you through the whole sequence. Out front, Van der Drift and Baird and Bruns pulling away now in the clear. We're on board with Zhang Dong. Up the inside, Menzel up the outside. And does manage to get past, so great job by Menzel. Clean pass down to turn 1, runs a little bit wide now. Can Zhang Dong get back? Doing a good job standing in for Martin Ragginger, as we said earlier. And don't forget, Earl Bamber managed to win the championship last year, having missed a couple of races, so no reason why Ragginger can't do the same. But this is about Zhang Dong. He pulls out of the slipstream of Menzel. He's gaining on him big time. Breezes past him. It's going to come down to a battle on the brakes. It's a right-hander at the end. Menzel can defend here. It's a hairpin. He gets it turned in. On board with Zhang Dong. Can he get the cut back? On the gas and pulling gears hard. He's back in the slipstream again. He got right alongside Menzel last time out. Menzel is defensive this time. takes the inside line for the left-hander at the end of the straight. Zhang Zhengdong on the right line, and Menzel runs wide. Great job by Zhang Zhengdong, applies the pressure. Menzel goes defensive and talks himself out of it on the brakes. A little bit sideways through the chicane, and these two having a great fight. Meanwhile, out front, Van der Drift, with a big history in single-seaters, has taken this one by storm. Last lap, or Zhang Zhengdong. So Zhang Zhengdong's made a mistake. Is that going to... It does. It lets Menzel straight back through. So Menzel has managed to apply the pressure back, and Zhang Zhengdong has run wide. On board now with Francis Cha, looking back at Yui Tan, the sister car to Avila. Oh, Yui! Big spin for Yui Tan. Rear end of the car got light in the middle of the corner, and Tan has spun off, fires it back up on the limiter, dumps the clutch. Not sure he's in the right gear there. Steady away for him. Out front, though, a great performance by Chris Van der Drift. He's going to take the win from Craig Baird, and Roloff Bruns behind. Great drive, not challenged from start to finish. Well, here's a replay of Yui Tan. Mid-corner, just comes in a little bit too hot, it looks like. And then a lift and a spin. Manages to get the car started and away. Here it is from Char's point of view. Not really sure how they went wrong for Yui. But wrong it did go. Nothing, though, wrong for this man. A first win in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia for Chris Van der Drift. Confirmation of that win for Van der Drift, with Baird in second and Bruns third.
It's still my second race in the Porsche Carrera Cup, so the biggest thing was for me to get the car off the line. That went quite well. I looked in the mirrors, they weren't sort of on my ass, so from there I just sort of had to keep cool and just try not to make any mistakes. So no, it was good. Come home, good points for us and good win for the team.
I got a reasonable start, so I got into second, but one of those tracks that you can make a lot of mistakes on. I sort of, Van der Drift made a couple of mistakes, and I sort of got excited at the same time and made mistakes myself. So it was kind of a good race, but a bit uneventful, you know. I wasn't really challenging for first, and yeah, it was just top three were status quo, really.
In the beginning, when I went off the line and I lost the place, I was thinking to save the tires towards the end and then try it to get my position back. But the time was just too short. If there were a couple more laps, we for sure could have a chance, but it was too short.
Egidio Perfetti with a win in Class B. He was champion of course, in 2013. Vutikorn second, and Max Twig in third.
Obviously, racing condition is a bit different than pre-practice in qualifying, but there was a bit of a mess, a few contacts on turn one right at the start, so I lost a position there, I think, and also fell behind the other pack. So it was difficult to try to stay connected, because if you are close up and personal, then it's easier to wanting to follow them.
Celebration time on the podium for the top three. However, they can't go too wild, as they have to come back the next day and do it all over again for round 4.
to round 4. Not quite as bright and sunny as it was yesterday, but still warm, overcast. Van der Drift with a great win yesterday, unchallenged. Bruns, the local driver, second on the grid. And Menzel with his best qualifying performance in 3rd. On board with Yui Tan, looking forward. And there is the starter, the man behind the lights. The revs are up. When's he going to push the button? And they're away. Clean start at the front of the grid, moves halfway down the field already. People swapping places down towards turn 1 though. It's Van der Drift. Oh, contact! Contact between Avila, and it looked like Hoping Tung again. It was. Hoping Tung is at a standstill. That's barely 3 corners in his entire weekend without trouble. On board with Nico Menzel. Looking forward at Craig Baird. Pulls out from the slipstream. He's going to have a look at the end of the straight. So on board now with Menzel. Can he get the job done? Oh, very, very late on the brakes indeed. If he gets that stop, it's going to be a tremendous pass. But Baird is wise to it. He's late on the brakes too. Comes out, covers it at the curbs. This is letting Van der Drift get away already. Bruns is trying to go with him. Menzel pops out from behind again. Shows himself in the mirrors. Baird takes a defensive line. He's not using the full width of the track. Menzel's going in tight. And that's Vutikorn. Vutikorn's gone up the inside of Max Twig. On board with Twig now. Great pass there by Vutikorn. And a disaster for Michael S. He is out already. Baird on the tail of Bruns. Oh, Baird carrying a lot of speed as he comes up behind Bruns. And he's going to try and get him on the start-finish straight. So Baird alongside Bruns down towards turn 1. Bruns shuts the door. Baird looks up the inside. It's all about getting it turned in now, and of course they're under pressure behind. Menzel is just there. They can't go too defensive, or they'll lose out there as well. Replay from the start, on board with Hoping Tung. Let's see what went wrong. He's on the inside, he's defensive, and bang, just gets collected. But what happened to Avila? That seemed a very strange contact. Hoping Tung so lucky not to get collected, then sitting outside turn 1. Okay, on board with Avila. So Avila, I think Avila gets tagged from the rear. So Avila looks like he's tagged from the rear. Plows into the side of Hoping Tung, who, as we've seen, goes no further. Now this is Menzel. So on board with Menzel, he gets a good start from 3rd. Well, drops to 4th to be fair. And then, as the others come past, looks like he turns into Avila. Menzel comes out a bit unscathed. And there it is. So Menzel moves just a tiny bit across, tags the back end of Avila. And Avila collects Hoping Tung. Here it is. There, Menzel, you see him sweep across the track. It's the tiniest move. But they're already on the limit of what the cars can do on the brakes down at turn 1. And just that little bit of contact pinballs the whole of the front end of the pack. And there is the result. Hoping Tung is out. That's Vutikorn as well. Didn't see what happened to Vutikorn. Front corner damaged. Maybe we'll see it now. We will. So on board with Vutikorn. In front of you, Egidio Perfetti. Oh! Vutikorn there just lit the throttle up and never got out of it. Buried the car in the back end of Perfetti, and he's out. Craig Baird having a look around the outside of Bruns. Can't get it done there. Not towards the right-hander in the chicane. Oh, great move, great move. Baird on the gas, up the inside, and he's done it. He's managed to get past Bruns. Never saw that coming. And Menzel goes through with him. Very, very opportunistic pass there by Baird. What a fantastic move. One of the slowest parts of the circuit. He just opens the gas up a little bit and slots through. Menzel following him through. So Bruns there taken completely by surprise. Can he now get back past Menzel? Menzel under a lot of pressure. Baird will be keen to see if he can get back onto the back of Van der Drift, who's disappearing. Here's a replay. So Baird, the second car in your picture, comes into the chicane, and watch this, on the gas, opens up the lock, slots it up the inside, block pass, is nowhere for Bruns to go. And to be fair, he gives Baird room, and that costs him, because Menzel then slots up the inside too. On board with Nico, and you can see there what a fantastic move it was. There's barely enough room to do it, but the two drivers give each other a bit of space and respect. And the result is a great bit of racing. Well, Menzel and Bruns locked in battle now. Baird with just a tiny gap, so maybe not having to drive quite so defensively. On board with Bruns now. through the left-hander and into the slipstream of Menzel. Looks up the inside. Manages to outbrake him. Clean move there, good job. Chops across the nose of Menzel. Menzel now needs to respond quickly if he wants that space back. Into the long left-hander, where we saw Yui Tan spin yesterday. Michael S on the pit wall. Would rather be in the car, but not this time. Rodolfo Avila now chasing Zhang Zhengdong. Down the start-finish straight. Zhang Zhengdong late on the brakes. Avila too. Avila's going to try and look up the inside. He got his nose up. There's not enough space. And Zhang Zhengdong carries enough speed to stay in front. Fantastic sound from these cars. Using all the gears on this XF1 circuit. You can see not much runoff. Very different characteristics to the different parts of the circuit. Great job there. Zhang Zhengdong up the inside of Alif Hamdan. But in fact runs wide with Hamdan. And that's Avila's got back past both of them. Zhang Zhengdong looking back up the inside of Avila now. Perfetti in the background. Zhang Zhengdong all over the back of Avila. I think at the end of the straight there, they all managed to outbrake themselves. Trying to be last on the brake. And Avila was there to pick up the pieces. Let's have another look on board with Avila. And you can see out front exactly that. The two drivers waiting for the other one to blink first. Neither of them blinks, and they both outbrake themselves. Here we go on your left. Hamdan, you're on board with Zhang Zhengdong. Zhang Zhengdong can't stop it. Luckily for him, Hamdan can't either, and he runs wide. They've both got enough space. And up the inside goes Avila. Out front, though, Chris van der Drift has had another unchallenged race. Baird has managed to close the gap a little bit back to him. This could be a great fight between these two as the season goes on. Bruns, the home driver, in third place. On board with Zhang Zhengdong now, trying to come back at Avila. Gets the nose up the inside. Lovely job, or a little bit of contact. I think Avila a bit harsh there, turning in on him. And it's cost Avila. If he's going to retire, certainly going slowly. Sounds as they've still got power and gears, but maybe broken suspension. Either way, disaster for Avila. No such disaster for Chris van der Drift, though. Holding off Baird. Not long to go now. And this is going to be a fantastic weekend. Only his second weekend racing Porsches. 2 poles. And he's going to make it 2 wins as well. Van der Drift takes it from Baird in second and Bruns in third. Menzel coming across the line 4th. That's some great racing for round 4 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. This is Max Twigg. Oh, on board with Max. Second place in Class B. Can he get it started and get himself to the finish line? No one come past so far. He's struggling to get it fired up. There he goes. He's on the gas. Pulls away. So Twigg defending his... Oh, and he's lost it. He's lost the place. Francis Char slots through. So Max Twigg, with a spin on the last lap, has lost second place in Class B to Francis Char. Char was a fair way back, considering how long it took Twigg to restart the engine. But last corner, and Char is going to hold on for second, with Twigg behind him in third in Class B. Perfect weekend for Chris van der Drift, and he has lit a championship fire. Here's a result then of round 4 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. Chris van der Drift with a double win this weekend. Craig Baird in second and Bruns taking third.
I had old tyres on, Craig and all the other boys around me had new bags on, so they just had a bit more extra grip throughout the race, and it was lucky at the start. I managed to, at the first few laps, gap a little bit, and then I knew I just sort of waited for them to come closer and closer, and I just thought, don't make any mistakes and just hang in there, really.
Class B won again by Giglio Perfetti. Francis Char in second, taking that position from Max Twigg on the very last lap.
Much happier than yesterday. I think I was more on the pace, and yeah, not too many, actually possibly only very few mistakes. So I was very pleased with how it went. Obviously, at the beginning there were a few contacts. I think Rodolfo got spun over or something, so he was behind me at a certain point and he was getting through. So I had to come off the accelerator in a twisty bit, and then there was another car that hit me from behind. So luckily I only noticed when I got off the car that I had half the bumper hanging out. So.
Craig Baird takes a big grip on the championship lead after this performance in Korea, but things are a lot tighter in Class B with just 6 points covering the top 3 drivers. The next stop on the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia Tour is the Fuji International Speedway in Japan, where the drivers will be topping the bill in the One Make Series Festival.